So we lost a legend, Chuck Norris, the other day. That was obviously really heartbreaking to all of us. But he was obviously an amazing actor and martial artist who made one of the most memorable scenes in the history of cinema with Mr. Bruce Lee, another legend martial artist and actor, in The Way of the Dragon, which I actually rewatched last night, the first time in 10 or 15 years. And you know what, when we think about The Way of the Dragon, I think the only scene that we could really remember is the scene with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee fighting at the Colosseum in Rome. And in fact, the first hour of the film was pretty basic and boring in so many ways, and it's pretty comical. I mean, before the introduction of Chuck Norris in that film. Although the scene with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee was pretty short compared to the rest of the scenes, only like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe less than 15 minutes or so. But it just became so memorable that every time we talk about The Way of the Dragon or Bruce Lee's films, we just bring up the scene with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee because that's how powerful and fantastic it was. But as you see, his on-screen presence was so strong and powerful that we could definitely never forget about him once we actually got to see him in films. Although some of his films he starred in poorly reviewed by film critics and audiences at the time, such as Silent Cage, Invasion USA, and of course Delta Force films. They're pretty bad, honestly. But again, for me personally, whatever roles, whatever films he played in, he just made them so entertaining and funny and somewhat watchable. That's a very, very important part of films, by the way. And I guess most of the Chuck Norris's films are guilty pleasures and we can always watch with friends and laugh and have a great time. And I mean, thanks to his incredible vigorous performances and incredible stunts, of course. So if you haven't seen The Way of the Dragon before, you should definitely check it out, because I think that's the least thing that we could do to remember him as well as Mr. Bruce Lee.